ask you about Tyler Kleven, just signing him 2 years, 1.6, I believe. What was that contract negotiation?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty smooth. You go through the process, you talk to the agent, you find some comparables, and you're trying to find an even ground for both the player, be fair to the player, and also for the team. So we're excited about Tyler and on a 2-year deal, and he continues to develop. So we're pleased with his development. I think to his own admission, I think a bit of a slow start for him last year, but certainly picked it up and played well in the playoffs as well.
Is there any update on Claude Giroux and his contract situation?
No, not really. I mean, we continue to talk. I think the dialogue is ongoing. And like I said, just like with Tyler, like you speak to the representative, you want to find what's fair. And it takes two sides.
Do you have an update on Nick Jensen's recovery period?
Yes, he's been doing very well. I mean, it is a period of time that he'll be out for. Not sure. Knowing Nick and the way he's going to attack his rehab, can he expedite his return to play? Most likely with him. I don't really have a timeline on it, but certainly is something that I think we're hoping that he could get through. But once we revealed exactly what it was, we knew that it was something that needed to get taken care of. And full credit to him playing through what he did and to play at the level that he did.
What did he have? What was the injury?
It was. I won't get into specifics, but it was his hip.
Sorry, going back to Claude, you said it takes two sides. Have you guys made him an offer?
We continue to discuss it. I think there's good dialogue between both sides, and again, I think we want to find some common ground.
How was your time at Buffalo at the Combine?
Busy, yeah, it was great. I love being around the amateur staff there. We got a passionate group, and they work extremely hard and very detailed. And the interviews, they are what they are. These kids are, and they continue to get more prepared and more mature. And it's just good to see. Like we get to watch them on the ice, and it's good to see them face to face and get to know them. And the preparation for the draft is always exciting. As you know, it's important that we continue to bring in good players.
You made some changes to your front office with Ryan Jonas departing. Have you made a decision on who's going to fill his shoes yet? Who's going to fill his shoes yet?
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be brought in Matt Turek. Specifically, he's overseeing Belleville, and we've spoken a lot about the importance of the American Hockey League in Belleville, and I do think there's room for improvement there. And so Matt's going to lead that. He's managing the Ontario Hockey League, had success as a manager, and his full focus is there, amongst some other things. So as far as that role, at this point, that was a big portion of the role that will be taken over, and the rest of it will be done internally.
You obviously don't have your pick next year as we stand right now, first round pick. Are you open to possibly moving this year if it includes making the team better?
Pretty much open to anything, Brett. I think, you look at, and every draft's a little bit different, but we're sitting at 21, and as we look at the list and watch the players that could potentially be there, we're growing more excited about the pick.
Last month when you spoke to us, you mentioned how Ottawa is an underrated hockey market. What's your general strategy in trying to lure free agents and players to this market, knowing it's a smaller market and they're just in their infancy and trying to be a perennial playoff team?
Well, no different than contract negotiations where I say, there has to be two sides to it. I'm speaking from the heart when I talk about Ottawa and how underrated I feel the market is. And knowing it just from the outside looking in, you knew it was a good market until you live it and breathe it and see what our fans are all about, see the balance that our players have, having the juice to play in a Canadian market, yet away from the rink, being able to, live a relatively normal life. And when I enter discussions, I'll just be honest with the player and the representatives, and if it's a fit for them, great. But I do believe what I say.
You have a lot of UFAs pending. Are you able to tell us if some aren't coming back?
Not at this point. No, I think we continue to work through it. There's a process to how every team handles it, including us, and so we'll see. We have our priorities and what we want to do, and then fitting it all into the cap and the strategy with that moving forward. That'll all take effect. I mean, the UFAs that we've had on our team that are UFAs now, we've really liked all of them.
Michael told us that you spoke to Greg Batherson about some of the trade rumors that came out about him. What was that conversation?
I mean, it's not often that I do it. Like I know things get out there and are written, and you know that there's no truth to it. But when it was written on back-to-back days, I was informed that it was out there a couple days in a row. I talk to our players often through the off-season anyway, but I just thought the timing was right to make sure that Drake knows that there's no truth to it.
Was Drake concerned?
No, he didn't seem concerned at all, really. I mean, I talked to him mostly about his training and what he's been doing and how he's going to approach the summer. And it's an exciting time for our group and for those individuals with the experience of last season and being able to take a step, feeling playoff hockey. I think it's going to add to the intensity of their off-ice training. And as we know, Travis is adamant that they come in good shape. And full credit to the group. Last year they did, and I'm hoping that takes another jump as well.
How active do you expect to be on the free agent market in terms of some of the top talent that could be projected to test the market?
We'll take a look at everything, Julian. I think it's hard to tell because I think a lot of these players might not make it to free agency and get re-signed by their teams. We continue to work internally with our group and get the team. You're always trying to improve your team, and this is an opportunity to improve our team through the off season and in around the draft. But it's only one opportunity, and I'll be prepared to do things, but you just don't want to force it. You want to make sure that it's right. So we're going through that process.
How likely do you think it is that you guys spend to the cap this year? Or close to it?
I think I have an idea in mind that it's probably not going to be up there and leave ourselves a little bit. I mean, you got to remember when I first got here, we had no room, and it's nice to be able to create some flexibility, lengthen the roster, lengthen the lineup, and give ourselves some options.
What are the discussions between you and Zetterlund's camp? Obviously, like heading into his RFA.
Yeah, continued good dialogue. I think these things do take time, and there is a process to it.
Are you thinking more long-term, short-term?
Open to ideas on it for sure. Yes.
Also, Steve, just how does it feel to be putting more of a stamp on this team? When you come into a team, you inherit a lot of pieces, but how close is it to what you would envision it being?
Well, you're always trying to improve, but certainly I think we can be proud of just really the culture that has taken hold here, and I think you can see it with the play and with the players. It feels good. I think that now we're striving for more, but the initial phases were just that: get this team, get the culture right, and again, full credit to the players, but they play for one another now, and they play hard and they compete, and we're a hard team to play against, and that's something to be proud of.